Coach Hackett with the Broncos being relieved of his duties after a 50, I believe, 114 game on Sunday against the Rams. Not a very good look.
Yeah. The Broncos season hasn't gone to plan, and someone was going to have to answer for that. Whether it was Russell Wilson or Coach Hackett, you never know how that's going to play out. But when you pay so much money to a guy like Russell Wilson, the coach might be more at fault for that. And you look at all the things you would see on the sidelines in multiple games. Someone's got to get a hold of that, and hopefully that doesn't continue to happen.
Well, I think back to week 1, when they were on the Manning cast and it was 4th and 5, they let the clock run down. They didn't go for it. They were elected to kick a long field goal. It just looked like then that maybe he was in a job that was too big for him. I just think, though, 15 games in seems really quick to fire somebody.
Did you forget what happened last year? Urban Meyer got fired.
Well, and I agree with that, but there was a lot more going on there where you had the bar incident, the kicking of the kicker incident, or whatever. Like, this just seemed like a guy who maybe they just made the wrong hire. I know there's a new ownership group there, so they have a different standard they want to live by, but 15 games, and I guess you're right. You can't do anything with Russell Wilson. The dead cap, the way it works, you paid him all the money, you sent all the draft picks to Seattle, so, right?
Yeah, the amount of draft capital that was gained for the Seattle Seahawks is, you can't go back on that at this point. Maybe a year or two down the road, you can maybe say, hey, we'll cut Russ, but the draft capital, the money you paid him, that's hard to just walk away from after 1 year. So, now you're hearing rumblings about Coach Sean Payton getting in the mix and bringing the DC Vic Fangio along too. I think that could be really worthwhile and could really change some things up there. Because, Coach Payton, he's the offensive guru. He knows how to scheme guys open. With a guy like Jerry Jeudy, you can do a lot with. I think they still got to continue to build out the roster a lot more, and it might just have to be addressed during free agency because they don't have those picks like they want to. And so you trade guys like Noah Fan away, who would have been very good going forward, but, man, that trade looks terrible now when you see all that they give away and didn't really give Russ a lot to work with, and so you're really just trying to see what you can do going forward.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it too, the draft pick they gave up to Seattle would be the 3rd overall pick this year. So you're not going to have much draft capital to deal with. Now, I do want to know, you understand the game a lot better than me and understand offenses and players. Would Sean Payton and Russell Wilson be a good fit?
I think it would be a very good fit. I think Sean Payton, he can dial up anything, but I think it's about understanding the players and understand what you got. I think Russell Wilson was always compared to like a Drew Brees type for his height. And maybe they're able to mix up some things, but I definitely think they got to get more receiving help. And because Coach Payton, he's been able to have some really good receivers over the year. Marcus Colston always reminds me of what he had in New Orleans, who was from Hofstra. And then Coach Payton just put him on the map, and he was all over the place. And he was always wide open. Does that fulfill your role with Jerry Jeudy? But I think you got to reestablish the run game. I know they had a lot of injuries in the running back room. So you look for that to improve. And I just hopefully Coach Payton and Russell Wilson get on the same page going forward if it does happen.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, there's another team that has been rumored to be maybe in the market for a coach at the end of the season. That's Arizona. What's a better fit for Sean Payton? Cardinals with Kyler Murray and that receiving core, or the Broncos?
Ooh. I think the best receiver out of both of those teams is DeAndre Hopkins. But going forward, I don't know if I really like.
You got Hollywood Brown there too, man, and James Conner, and I believe Ertz is hurt now, but he's going to come back. Like, they have the skill guys you'd like.
They do, and maybe it's just me. Who would you rather have as your quarterback, Russell Wilson or Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
And that is going to be a Sean Payton question. I can't answer that. I think Russell Wilson has won an MVP. Won a Super Bowl. So, you would lean towards that way. But Kyler's got, skill and youth on his side. So you never know.
I'd say too, Russell won a Super Bowl with an elite defense. I know
did.
he was a good player, but I think those defenses in Seattle would have a lot to say of why they were in the Super Bowl so many years.
Hey, Denver's got a pretty good defense too.
Timeout. And I'm glad you brought that up. Denver just cost me a chance to go to the fantasy football championships by going -4, giving up 45 points. I lost by 1 point because Denver couldn't even get a 0. So I am done with the Denver defense. Get out of here, okay? You want to get me passionate about something? I know nobody cares about my fantasy team. They just lost me. I can't even talk about it anymore. It's so frustrating what Denver did on Sunday.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I know
really
you
don't care about your fantasy league, and I'm sure our viewers don't either. So
I'm sorry. Give me an outlet though. I need to get this out. I want to go rip something and destroy something because of what the Denver defense did.
Jump on Madden, bro, and just start all over.
I am. I'm gonna have to for sure.